All right, let's talk about classes. You're going to go to the Computer Science 1201 team, and you're going to open 12A, Intro to Classes. Your job, create a file called Assignment 12A, come down here, copy and paste the code. And then there's Assignment 12A. In the same project, you're going to create another file called athlete.java. So for the first time ever, we have two files in the same project. So the first one, 12A, is your main line. It looks like this. Second one is athlete, and that's everything from here down to there, where it says the code ends here. So what does it look like when we put that code in? So you have two files, your main line and your athlete. So copy and paste the main line into this one. Yours is probably called Assignment 12A. Copy and paste the other one into athlete. And let's see what it does. First of all, there's going to be a weird error going on, and I'll explain that one. See how it has all these silly quotations in here? Unfortunately, my code doesn't copy and paste very well. I don't know why it works that way, but we're just going to have to change all the double quotations in the athlete class so that it works properly. After we've done that, then I can explain how this actually works. So the reason we're using classes, methods were nice, but they're not good enough. The problem with methods is you had to try and return things. You can only ever return one thing at a time. Classes are going to allow us to return as many things as we want. So let's run this again and see what happens. Amy plays defense and has scored 21 goals and 5 assists. So we've created an athlete, and the variable name is person. Now, when you normally create a variable, it looks like this. So x is a variable of type integer. Quotient is a variable of type double. Person is a variable of type athlete. So throughout the rest of the program, person is the name of your variable. Just like x was an int, quotient was a double, person is an athlete. Then what happens? We said we're making a new athlete, and we're starting off with Amy Defense 21 and 5. So they're probably quite important. Amy Defense 21 and 5 looks like they're related to the name, the position, the goals, and the assists. And then we call a function called display athlete. All the code for the athlete is in its own class. Let's go look at the class. It has the name athlete. You will notice there is no main line here. The main line is where it normally is. You have one main line in a program, and that's it. So athlete has a collection of variables and a collection of functions. The variables. These are the variables that you want to use throughout your methods in this class. Once you define them here, they come for free. You don't have to send them to a method. You don't have to return them from a method. So this is a huge advantage of using classes. So with this program, we need a name, a position, the number of goals, and the number of assists. So there's our name, position, goals, and assists. The first thing you want to do is initialize everything. This is known as a constructor. And constructor has the exact same name as the class. This is the only time you do this. And any variables you want to initialize before you start using the class. It runs automatically. So the constructor doesn't have to be called. When you create the athlete class, it automatically calls the constructor and initializes the variables. So it's expecting from the main line a string, and two integers. So we're going to send it the name, the position, the goals, and the assists. So how did we do that? When we created the new one, we sent Amy Defense 21.5. So Amy Defense 21.5. So Amy goes in name, defense goes in position, 21 goes in goals, 5 goes in assists. So that creates the variables or initializes the variables, and then they can be used anywhere in the class. Back on this one, we then ask you to display the athlete. It goes to the display athlete function and says, whatever the name is, which was Amy, plays, whatever the position was, defense, and has scored 21 goals and 5 assists. So if we were to change the information here, So let's see how Bob does. Bob is a forward. How about a right wing? Bob plays on the right wing and has 251 goals. And when we run that one now, there's Bob playing right wing with his 251 goals. So your job, you're going to go into the athlete class. You're going to create a new function. Your new function is going to update the information for the athlete. So it's going to be public, almost always void. We don't need to return anything. If we needed to return anything, we would have declared a variable up here. We'll update the athlete. Don't need to send it anything. If we needed to send anything, we would have put it up here. And then inside here, this is where you're going to write the code to update the athlete. Ask the user what would they like to update, change the information, and then we'll display it afterwards. How do you call the update function? Well, let's see how we did the display athlete. So person.displayAthlete calls the function. So person.updateAthlete will update the athlete. And then any code that you put in update athlete will get displayed. So if we had something in here, we'll just do a system out print line to test it. Goodness. Let me see if I can get that right. Okay, so we're going to update the athlete. Let's just see if that works. Okay, give me a moment. My computer's being silly. And there we go. So it's still displaying Bob, and it's saying we went to the update function. Other things you might want to know. All these variables, name, position, goals, and assists, come for free inside the athlete class. You just use name, position, goals, assists. What if you want to display it from the main line? Is there a way to do that? So let's see if we can do that. Let's say I wanted to print the name of the person. Okay, the variable is person. Attached to the variable, we had a name. So to access the variable, let's see if I've got that right. Not visible. Okay, let's talk about the not visible. I've made the name private, which means it's only visible in the athlete class. If we make it public, then we can access it from the main line. So now it's much happier. So again, the person is the athlete who has a name, a position, goals, and assists. If you want to access things from the main line, you have to attach it to person and say what the variable is. Let's see how that works. So there's our usual line about Bob. There's our update function because we're calling update, and the name of the athlete is Bob. Okay, try and get comfortable with this today, and then after that, you're going to make a bank machine. What you want to keep in mind, your main line is the traffic director. It says, do this, do that, come back here. Loops should be in here, and then the work gets done in the other class. Put any variables in that you need to keep changing. Your methods don't need anything here. They can be void. There should be nothing in there as well. All the variables should come for free. If you need a constructor, that's used to initialize variables. And that's, I think, all you need to know. Okay, I hope it goes well for you.